Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Combat Night Orlando, October 21st at the Caribe Real here in Orlando, Florida. Come and see the best up and coming fighters in the state of Florida. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Combat Night Orlando press conference here. Miles the Black Santa Amos. No, you want me to speak up? All right. Combat Night Orlando. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference here, taking place Saturday, October 21st at the Caribe Real. I'm live here in Orlando. We got a bunch of action-packed fights lined up. All right, let me make sure I don't get anybody's name wrong. If I pronounce it wrong, let me know now. Sham Delva, Angel Mercado. Said it right? Yeah. Yeah, all right. We got Kenny Augusto, Nick McCarthy. What? Mick Carty? Mick Carty. Let me. We got Cedric Lucent. Cedric Lucent. We got Luke Pouste. Did I say that right? Huh? Luke Pouste. Amos, like the cookies. I know everybody's had Amos cookies before. We got Juan Lopez and Mikey Colon. Is that how you say it? Colin, I know I'm missing. Colon. Mikey Colon? Conlon.
How's everybody doing today? I am extremely excited about this event on Saturday here in Orlando. It is our last pro show of the year for Orlando, and we have a stat card on deck. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce the second greatest beard to ever grace the Combatagon, our official voice of the cage, Miles Amos, and get the rest of these fighters up here.
Thank you, sir. All right, like the boss said, I'm Miles the Black Santa Amos, Combat Night OG, the official voice of Combat Nights, the best beard in the game. I got the beard. You already know what it is. All right. So, but glad for everybody coming out. Thank you for you guys at home for watching. All right. This here press conference, okay, is very important. Why? Because it's here in Orlando. If anybody follows Combat Night, they know the best shows are always in Orlando. So why not have a press conference for these up-and-coming fighters? Some of these fighters that you'll see Saturday, October 21st at Caribbean Royale, these guys are the future of whether it's the UFC, the PFL, Bellator, all of that. These guys here are the future. So make sure you guys here in Central Florida or in the state of Florida, come on, make that trip. All right, October 21st here at Caribbean Royale. Get your tickets. All right, so first, let's introduce these guys coming up here. All right, first, training out of the Jungle MMA. All right, welcome to the stage, Luke Pouste. Come on up, Luke. All right, second we got here, give it up, from Dark Wolf and Fusion, Cedric Lusant. Next up, out of Fusion XL, give it up for Nick McCarty. Also training out of the Jungle MMA Fitness, give it up for Kenny Augusto. All the way next up from St. Cloud, give it up for Juan Roberto Lopez. Also out of Fusion, Mikey Conlon. And ladies and gentlemen, these next two guys here, this is what this card is surrounded all about, all right? This is for the Combat Night Pro Lightweight 155 Championship belt, all right? Introducing first from ATT Palm Beach Gardens, give it up for Sham Delva. And then his opponents, right here from Orlando, training out of Fusion XL, give it up for Angel Mercado. All right, now we got a couple questions that people submitted online on Instagram to the Combat Night page. I got a couple here I'm going to ask first to these, you know, title main event contenders here, and then we'll take some questions from the audience. All right, so this first question is for you, Angel. All right, man. Seeing that now you're on a 5-fight win streak, right? But your opponent here, Sham, he's undefeated. What goes through your head as you're trying to breathe that first, grab that guy that gives him his first loss? What goes through your head going against the undefeated opponent?
I know what it means to make mistakes in a fight. When I got a loss, I don't make no mistakes. It is what it is. He was the better man that night. But I learned from my mistakes, and that's why you see I'm on a 5-fight winning streak. You know, I kept my mind strong. I worked very hard for this moment. Ain't nobody taking this belt from me. I feel like I'm the champ.
All right, all right. Then for you, Sham, what does it feel like being that Angel here? He trains out of Fusion XL. It's one of the top gyms here in Central Florida. What does it feel like coming here into enemy territory? And what's going through your head when you prepare for a guy like him, you know, on a 5-fight win streak?
Well, it feels good that I'm at his hometown and I'm ready to take the belt home. And there's a reason why I'm undefeated. And Saturday night, you guys will find out why.
All right. So, going back to Andrew, we got one more question for you. Is there any, being that we mentioned, you know, you train out of Fusion here in Central Florida, here in Orlando, is there any, you know, added pressure? You know, you got maybe girlfriend, friends, family, yo, can you hook me up with some tickets? You know, what is added pressure do you have?
Man, I don't worry about that. I don't worry about what everybody's asking me during fight week. I don't care about none of that. My job is to fight, is to win, and I'm coming hungry. I'm not coming here to play. I'm not here to talk with anybody, make friends. We coming to put a war. This is my city. I'm from Orlando. I'm standing up for Orlando. This is my motherfucking city. So you already know what time.
All right, you heard it here first, man. This is city. All right. Now back to you, Sham. All right, what's different about this fight? I know we mentioned before, he's 5-1, you're 5-0. What goes through your head? What are you going to do differently for this particular fight to make sure that you remain undefeated and, like you said before, get that belt, take it home?
Like I said, tune in on Saturday, and you guys will see why I'm undefeated.
All right, man. Here, both of these guys here, I can feel the tension here. Both of them are so stoic. All right. If you haven't already, make sure you get your tickets. This one right here is worth the price of admission. All right, now let's take some questions from the audience or individuals at home.
This question is going to be for Kenny and Juan as well. Kenny, how do you prepare for a guy who has about 5 times the experience of fights as you? He turned pro in 2014. Just wanted to see, you made your AMI debut in 2017. How does it feel going into this fight with a guy with so much experience?
It pretty much feels like whatever, man. Because at the end of the day, we're going to step in that cage and our hands going to do the talking. There ain't nothing about it. I'm going to be able to do what I do best. You can have all the experience you want. I'm still coming as hard as I got to. But it ain't nothing to really worry about. At the end of the day, we're fighters, and our hands going to do the talking.
All right. I know I said Juan, but I actually meant Nick. Nick is also fighting a guy with a ton of experience, multiple fights under his belt, 3-4 times the experience. How does it feel to face someone with so much experience, and did you change anything for this camp?
Well, it's exciting. What more experience means more experience I gain from fighting him. So I'm just looking forward to the challenge. And with the training, I train hard all the time. Opponents don't matter at all. I just work. That's it.
All right, yeah, so you see here both of these guys, they're fighting guys with a lot of more experience, but it seems like neither one of them are phased with the experience. It seems like both of these guys here, they're having the ability to prove themselves against, more challenges and more individuals who faced adversity in there. So let's go ahead and take another question from the audience.
This is for Cedric. What it means to fight for your hometown?
Honestly, I'm going to be real. It means nothing to me. I fight for me.
All right, pretty simple and straight to the point. We got a lot of guys up here from Orlando, a lot of individuals up here fighting for their hometown. Some people, as you heard, some people, it drives them, it fires them up, to be able to fight in front of friends, family, girlfriends and all that. Some people, like you heard Cedric there, he don't care. All right, let's take another question.
This is for my brother, Angel. I know what you're going to do out there, but I just want to hear from you right here in front of everybody. What's your prediction for this fight coming up?
I'm going for a finish. If I want to get in the UFC, I got to get a finish. So we going out there. We not coming to play. We coming to put hands on them. And I'm ready for 3 rounds, whatever it takes. I got to take them out.
Yes, sir.
So it seems Angel says on finish. I want to ask Sham, how do you see this fight playing out? Angel here says, man, he's looking forward to the UFC. He thinks that, he finishes you, a guy who's undefeated, he can get that next, call up to the UFC, possibly the Contender Series, or, Dana White needs somebody local here. We've seen it before. Valentine One Bird, Trey Waters. You can see guys, Phil Rowe. You see guys that right here, far from Combat Night, are in the UFC. So what do you think is going to make you be that next one and stop Angel here? He has plans.
He said he's going to finish me. Good luck with that.
All right.
Man, all respect to my opponent. I give him respect. He's coming to my city and putting on. But I got something to fight for. I've been fighting and putting in work for 10 years. This is my city. I'm not coming to play no games. Ain't nobody taking nothing from me. My family's going to be here. My whole team is gonna be here. This is my motherfucking city, and y'all already know what time it is. I'm not playing with nobody, so you better come ready. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Good
you heard it here.
luck.
Both of these gentlemen, like I said before, both of these
God
gentlemen
bless
coming.
you. God bless you.
Both of these gentlemen, if you've seen the Combat Night, you know, I know Angel has all of his pro fights with Combat Night. I know Sham, he's fought for us as an amateur and as a pro as well. So if you've definitely, you know, been a fan of the Combatagon, been a fan of Combat Night, then you've seen both of these two gentlemen. I'm surprised they haven't faced off before, but for a belt this Saturday, I'm definitely looking forward for it.
A couple of years ago, before COVID, I think we were scheduled to face off. Something happened. I don't remember what happened, but it didn't happen. But now Saturday we get to fight. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad you guys will be able to fight for a belt. Let's take another question from the audience.
How you doing, man? Question for Sham. My question to you is, I heard people saying, like, hey, you train at ATT Winter Gardens, and you don't have the high-level looks. What do you say to those guys that say, hey, man, Angel's training with Mike Perry, Julian Williams, Phil Rowe, that tall, handsome black guy, the black belt that knock people out, great jiu-jitsu. He's taller than you. He's faster than you. He's stronger than you. He's 10 times better the fighter that you are, and he's training with him. What do you say to those guys?
It doesn't matter. It's just me and him when we hop in there Saturday, and those other guys he trained with not going to be there with him. It's just going to be me and him.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Do you think, Sham, that him having those looks of those guys that are taller than you, faster than you, better jiu-jitsu, stronger, quicker, dressed better, and he trains with these guys, do you think that's going to help him? You think it's going to make a difference?
It doesn't matter. It's just going to be me and him in the cage.
Big fact.
None of the other guys going to help him.
Good luck to you guys, man. Good luck to you guys. Angel, good luck to you. Sham, good luck to you, brother.
All right, now let's ask some questions to some of these other individuals up here. Let's give some of these other guys here a shine. Mikey Collin, you know, you're a hometown, you know, favorite. Every time you fight for Combat Night, you know, you always see the crowd, especially the ladies. You know, you're a young, handsome individual. They go wild. What is it like for you? You're the former Combat Night, you know, amateur champion. Now you're stepping in to make your pro debut. What does that feel like?
It's a feeling I can't really describe. Three-time champ under Combat Night. I fought three of Duval's best 155ers, and I came out victorious every time. So I trust myself and I trust my team. And this pro debut is a long time coming. And I'm not one to compare careers with other people, but I'm exactly where I need to be. I have a great team, great support system, and my mentality is what's kept me in this game this long. So I'm excited to show everyone what's in my mind, and I can't even put into words that Orlando's my hometown now. I don't claim Tampa anymore, especially after I sold more tickets here. But yeah, Tampa don't rock with me like I thought they did. But yeah, I am very grateful to have an opponent in Juan, and I think it's going to be a great time.
And then to toss things off 2-1, being that you're coming in, like Mikey said, this is his home now. This is his, you know, second home. He's adopted it. What is it like for you, you know, going into somebody's enemy territory for a guy like Mikey, who's now a hometown favorite here in Orlando?
I mean, none of that really matters to me. All I got to say is expect blood. I know he's a tough motherfucker. So am I. So expect violence and a lot of it.
All right, let's take another question from the audience.
This question is for Luke Puste. Luke, you've been with Combat Night since event number 5 or 6. It's felt like it's been forever. We've got to watch you evolve inside of the Combatagon, and you've got to see us evolve as a promotion. What does it mean to fight in front of your hometown of Orlando with Combat Night as a pro, 155 events later?
It's been so cool. Like you said, you've seen me grow, but watching the organization grow to be what it is today, you know, you have Robin Black doing breakdowns of it. You guys are getting huge. It gives us a platform as well. Orlando is now my second home. Whenever I'm in Duval, you know, the crowd goes nuts. And when I'm in Orlando now, I have a very large crowd as well. It's always fun. It's always a party. And I I cannot be happier. I'm so excited for Saturday.
All right, now let's take another question from the audience.
All right, this one is for Kenny. Kenny Augusto, you fought, I think, the majority, everything, amateur and pro. As an amateur, you struggled a little bit with making weight, but as a pro, you have crushed it. How did that amateur experience help you make the transition to pro? And what do you expect to do on Saturday night against your opponent, Ginseng?
The AMI experience is, practice just makes perfect, and that's what it is at the end of the day. As an amateur coming up, you got to do everything possible to learn as much as you can from this game. You have to take fights that are going to challenge you. You have to make those weight cuts, make sure you make weight. I messed up. We all messed up. Ain't nobody perfect, but at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to fight. And with Ginseng, I'm looking forward to a finish. I don't know if it's going to be ground and pound. If he gives me his neck, I'm for sure going to finish him. Nobody's going to get out from underneath me. If you hit with me on the ground, I don't care how big you are, how tall you are. I don't care who you are. If you're on the ground with me, you're going to be in a lot of hell, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, great there. Now you see Kenny as well as a couple other individuals here. That's one of the great things about Combat Night. Not so many promotions in the country, definitely sure in the state of Florida, can give amateurs that opportunity to turn pro. Some organizations, they're just focused on pros, have maybe like 2 or 3 shows a year. And then some shows, they're just strictly only amateur. But the great thing that I, maybe a little bit biased, like about Combat Night is their ability to give top quality amateur experience, but then also to allow them to grow or allow them to develop into professionals like you see up here on the stage. All right. This next question for Eddie Perez Bruno. What's going through your head as you're preparing for your fight coming this Saturday?
It's going to be lit. I don't know. I like fighting, so it's going to be fun.
Are there any predictions that you have? Unanimous, rear naked choke, you want to do some jiu-jitsu, work on your striking? What helps you exactly prepare you think you're going to get the job done come Saturday?
I ain't even going to lie. I'm just going to scrap. It's just what I do. Like, I'm going to go have fun. It's going to be a lit time, but I'm honestly looking for a submission this time. I've already gotten knockout of the night and fight of the night with Combat Night. I'm trying to get the trifecta and get a submission of the night. I want to be Combat Night's first fighter to accomplish that. So I don't know. That's I like to set mini goals, and that's just my next goal right now. So.
Okay, yeah, that's great goals to set. All right. Let's have another question from the audience here. Go ahead.
This question's for Eddie. You've competed on my event as well. I've watched you train really hard for that, even though it was just grappling, and and you always spoke about your kids. Your kids was a big motivation for you. We want to know how you balance being an entrepreneur, having your kids, and training for pro fights now full time.
The truth is, I'm still trying to figure that out. I take it just day by day. I pray a lot, and honestly, God's helped me through a lot. So, honestly, real, like, that's as honest as I could be, because I don't know how I do it still. I just take it day by day. It's not easy, so.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. You know, being a full-time fighter and dad, and it's a lot. I know there's a couple other dads up there. I know Sham, you got kids as well. When you talk about that, you know, being able to balance, you know, family life, husband life, dad life, and fighting.
It ain't easy, but, you know, my daughter just turned 6 couple of months ago, and she pushed me. She really do. I have a couple of business, too, that I'm running, and I fight because I want to. I don't have to fight. I just love it. And, yeah, my daughter pushed me, and my family pushed me.
Great there, man. Family push you. All right, let's take another question from the audience there. Go ahead.
All right, this question's for Mikey and Juan. You guys kind of have, in your camp right now, your head coaches are Paul Rodriguez and Julian Williams.
Legends.
Yeah, exactly. So that foundation that Paul Rodriguez has, how do you feel going against Juan, who is directly under Paul?
I'm excited because at one point I had beef with one of Paul's students, and we could have saw that earlier. But I'm excited. And honestly, I have a question for Juan before he answers this one. You're talking about blood, but you never bled in a fight before, bro.
I actually have my last fight for the BKFC.
You fought for the BKFC?
Yep.
How'd it go?
Eye poke. Ended. Finished in a draw.
Oh, shit. Well, congrats. That's a big deal. BKFC is a big deal. But I'll give it back to you.
I mean, I don't really know any of these guys, so it doesn't really matter to me. All I know is Saturday I'm coming to fight, and that's it.
How do you think you win? Think you got out of the first round?
I have no game plan. Just coming out there to fight. How about you?
I'm going to get you out in the first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Pick out.
You are such a dork, bro. You know that?
Thank you.
All right, well, I see we got here a question in the audience there.
Just a question for Sham again. Juan, where I'm from, we respect the shooter, not who got shot. You don't want to be bleeding in fights. Sham, my question to you though, serious question. What do you think you're gonna be able to do to Angel to win this fight? So, and you're very like, we'll find out Saturday. Like, we're here to talk, right? And you guys want to make it to the next level. That's why you're here. You're not fighting tonight. You got to talk. So, not being funny, I'm just trolling a little bit, obviously. But I'm curious. I really want to know because I hold Angel in a high regard. Obviously, I'm biased. I train with him. You're undefeated. What do you think, do you see in his game that you think you can capitalize and beat him? I think he's great. I think he's going to UFC. I think he's going to smoke you. That's my opinion. That don't matter. I just want to know what you believe you see in him that you can beat.
Like I said, just wait.
Oh,
You'll
my
find
God.
out
Oh, my
Saturday.
God. Oh, my God. All right, Sham. All right, Sham. All right.
All right, then I guess I'll ask that same question to Angel. Is there any particular holes or anything that you see in Sham's game that allows you to believe that you were able to get that victory?
I see a bunch of holes. I think I'm a great fighter. I think I'm great everywhere. I think I look small, but I'm very strong. I think I look short, but I'm actually long. So I'm gonna be good everywhere, on the ground, standing up, all that. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about anywhere it goes. I'm gonna do as I always do. I dominate. I win in every position.
All right, do we have any more questions from individuals in the audience?
This question is for Nick. Nick is so quiet. He's so quiet all the time, super chill. But when he wins his fights, he turns into this like Jamaican, like he starts dancing and everything. What does it mean to you to represent for your country when you win your fights?
So pretty much, when my bro passed, I really got more in tune with my culture and my heritage, and it's more of a representation of him and being solitude with my family. So everything, all these wins, all the hard work is a dedication to him, and I'm trying to make sure I make him proud.
All right, we get another question from the audience.
Mikey, question to you.
Yes, sir.
Your end goal is to make it to the UFC, Bellator, PFL, correct?
Absolutely.
This is your pro debut. What do you do to ensure that happens fighting this guy, Juan?
If I told you the lineup that I'd have to fight every Saturday, Tuesday, and if you watched how those rounds went, you'd be like, Mikey, why do you fight? But I'm very confident in the preparation, my mind, and Juan's he's my business partner for the weekend, so I need him. My last guy ghosted me. He literally was in the same building as me and didn't walk. But it's okay. You know, I'm not going to beat him up. I'm not going to talk trash about him. We just didn't fight. Sadly, it doesn't go on my record, and my career doesn't progress. So I know that there's a job that needs to be done, and I trust myself to get it done because I do it every time. I fought in my amateur career 9 MMA fights. I've won 6. A lot of the decisions were close. Maybe I won fights that I shouldn't. I lost fights that I shouldn't. But I take credit in the people that I fought. I think that everyone that I fought can make it in like as a pro in mixed martial arts. So I think I look at fighting like Highlander. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that show, but when you kill another immortal, you take their power. And
I like that.
I've been tested with some really hard immortals, if we're gonna quote it like that. So I trust myself, and to be honest, the last 3 guys that I fought, they're on winning streaks now. So they like I how do I say this? I gave them the rub and vice versa. Like when you share the octagon or share the cage that night. when you share the cage with someone. So yeah.
I like that answer. Juan, follow up for you. What do you say to a guy, right, who has that high-level experience, right, who gets to get those rounds? Me, a guy who's in the fight game, I think fighting is like almost like in the Dragon Ball Z series. On-the-job training matters. So if you're getting those high-level looks, that's a big deal. What do you say to him? He gets those high-level looks, right? He's in the gym with these world champions, these elite-level guys. How do you think you're going to be able to combat that?
I may not have the high-level guys that he has, but best believe if you ask anybody in the gym, they'll tell you, Juan is that one motherfucker that'll give it 100% every single time. I'm not leaving those mats unless I'm gassed out or puking my brains out.
Talk your shit, dog. I like that. Talk your shit, dog.
All right, now going back to Mikey, you mentioned, I know before you were supposed to make your pro debut back in May, I believe. What goes through your head as, you leading up to this pro debut now? Do you have a little bit of, some fighters, they feel as though, I'm training for a fight, then a guy pulls out. I'm training for a fight, then pulls out. Is there any sort of like gym fatigue there or like nerves? I hope this guy actually, shows up to a fight.
I never really had issues with people showing up to fights. I don't think I'm that intimidating, which is cool, whatever. I look at it like this. There's hundreds and hundreds of years of Conlins and Conlin men, and this is my legacy. This is like, I'm the one of my family to represent on Saturday night, and he's the one of the Lopez family to represent on Saturday night. And he don't know how them Conlins roll. We've been taking whatever the fuck we want for a long time now. So nothing changes. Did I answer that question? It was July pro debut. We had made content after my last win, May 13th, you and I. So it was all synonymous. I knew I was going to try to fight in July right after the title fight.
So is there any I guess you could say nerves, or there's any just drain being in the gym, man?
I'll tell you what. This week in this fight camp, honestly, it's been back-to-back fight camps pretty much all year. I fight every week. Like, fighting's a part of who I am. I grew up fighting. I was that dude in high school. I was thumping since I was a kid. Didn't really lose as a kid either. So it was cool. And then my brother followed that path, and he was thumping people too. And it's just like we were known, like the Conlin brothers in high school. Like that was us. And I had a fight video go viral in high school. I was a junior. And it just kind of catapulted, like, okay, Mikey's the fighter. Mikey's gonna be in MMA. Like he's an MMA fighter. And then I won Prom King. It's just been like my story this whole time. I've been fighting all my life, so I never backed down from anybody, and never really got whooped. Ain't nobody ever whooped me. And the people that can whoop me are in Fusion Excel. So I'll take my beatings because that's life. Life's a fight, and life's gonna kick your ass all the time. So. Anyways, Saturday, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah. All right. Juan, and a rebuttal, man, this guy over here, Mikey, says he's been fighting all his life. How long have you, been training, and what experiences have you been through do you feel that's going to give you the edge going there?
Well, I've been training. I started with Paul, actually, when I was like 15 years old. So, I've been training for a very long time. No, I don't really have a rebuttal.
Let's take another question from the audience. Go ahead.
I've got a twofold question for you, gentlemen. I'll start with Cedric first. Cedric, you hit a big mental breakthrough on a 6-fight win streak. What would you attribute that to?
Honestly, it's the family that I've surrounded myself with at Fusion and Dark Wolf. That's what brought me out of the hole that I was in. I lost my first 2 amateur fights, went on a 7-year, basically hiatus. You know, I came around these guys. They inspired me. They motivated me to really do it right this time. And as you can see, I've been putting in that work, 6 fights in a row.
That's amazing. I got one more question for Juan. Juan, you started your amateur career going bantamweight. How much has the fluctuation in weight up to lightweight played effect in your overall training camp? Or
Well, actually, my first 3 fights, well, my first 2 fights were kickboxing at 151. I fought as high as 165. I had 1 fight at a 135. But I'll be honest, fuck that. Never making 135 again. Not fun. Felt super weak. But, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable at any weight class. Like, when I first came into the gym, because my girlfriend was pregnant, so I took like a year off, I was like 200 pounds. I actually messaged Mitch. I was like, hey, if anybody pulls out at 185, I'll fucking fight. I don't care. You know, so it's never been a problem for me. I'm comfortable wherever I'm at.
All right, any other questions from the audience?
Luke Pouste, man. Shout out to Luke. You've been fighting a long time, man. You've been fighting just as long as me, which is crazy. You a vet, man. How do you feel having so much fight experience? How is your comfortability level fighting here now at home?
Yeah, we have been fighting for a long time. We fought, I remember, in a gymnasium in St. Augustine for Josh Ruckers a long
Rumble in
time
Ancient
ago.
City.
So
That's crazy.
throwback. We've been in the game for a long time. I'm very comfortable. You know, I'm not as nervous going in there now. I'm very calm in the back room, just listening to my music, focus on the goal. I always say I'm not nervous. I am anxious. I want this to be here. I want Saturday to be here, just so we can get in there and get the job done. But the experience, I think, is it definitely is a big game changer. I feel way better every time I go in there.
Always rooting for you, man. That was 2011. Always rooting for you.
Yes, thank you. 2011. I was like 2 months out of high school.
Crazy. Yo, Sham, I'm getting some emotion out of you, dog. Look, you're 5-0. You beat Angel. You're 6-0. Are you ready for the UFC? Are you ready to fight UFC guys right now?
I'm ready right now to fight UFC guys.
What makes you ready right now?
My talent, my skills.
How long have you been training?
About 5, 6, 7 years now.
5, 6, 7 years? How long you been training?
5, 6, 7 years. You pick.
5 years. I don't believe you, dog. I don't believe you. Saturday, you gonna turn me into a believer or what?
Tune in.
Angel, is this man gonna be the man that halts your transition to the big show? Is this the guy that got your number?
Nobody's stopping me. Nobody's stopping me. Nobody can stop me. Not even people in the UFC right now. They can't stop me.
So now we talking about how Sham is, undefeated here. We also got another undefeated fighter over there at the end, 3-0, Kenny Augusto. What goes through your head as you're going into your now 4th professional fight? All of your pro fights have been with Combat Night. What are you going to do as you go in there against, like they said before, Jensen, who's has a wealth of more experience than you? But what are you going to go in there to make sure that you protect and stay undefeated?
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do what I do best. I show up every time. I just know it's time to eat. That's all I know at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a grind, and I'm coming in to break your soul. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to mess around. I'm coming here to win. I'm coming here to make it to the next level. I'm trying to make it into the UFC. I'm trying to put food on the table for my family. Ain't nobody going to stop me. You literally going to have to kill me to get me out of that cage. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just how it is. Closed mouths don't get fed out here.
All right, that's all I like to hear. We got another question out of the audience there from you, sir.
Yeah, another one for Kenny, actually. I've thought about this a lot over the past year. That triangle you were in your last fight, it lasted about 25, 30 seconds. Arm was across, posture was broke. I thought it was over. You dominated the entire fight, and then you got caught in that triangle. What was going through your head in that moment, and how did you get out?
So what was going through my head in that moment was, I know this motherfucker did not just throw a triangle up on my ass and I let this happen. I was really mad, and then I thought about it. I was like, yo, my dad's in the crowd, my uncle, family members. I got my teammates there. Everybody's watching. I was winning the fight up until this point. He only won that few seconds. I was on top of him, dominating the whole session. I just know at the end of the day, I still got to bring that dog out in me. I've been raised by getting my ass whooped by my mom, by my brothers. It's just one thing that you know, like, things only stop when you stop pushing. And that's the same thing in life. When you stop pushing, when you break down, when you get depressed, things only get worse. If you keep pushing forward and you keep doing what you got to do, if you keep that mindset that, like, I'm just going to make it through this one way or another, ain't no stopping me, then there's no limit for you. And that's just how you got to approach things. When he locked it up on me, I was like, all right, time to roll. I rolled, tried to slip my arm out, and luckily I got my arm out, put my elbow up against his thigh, and propped my head out just a little bit enough to get it out. All I know is if that didn't happen, I was going to try to pick him up and slam him, but thank God I didn't have to.
Any other questions?
I've got one more for Cedric, and that'll be my last one. Cedric, earlier, Alex mentioned you're on a 6-fight win streak. He did not mention that you started off your career as 0-2, and then you took a long hiatus from the sport, and you came back, and you've been crushing it ever since. In your pro debut, you took on a national champion boxer out of Penn State. Pretty ballsy for your pro debut. What changed, man? Like, you came back a father. You came back an entrepreneur. You own multiple businesses. And I just got to know, man, what's the secret? 0-2 to 6-0 and running multiple businesses and being a father. That's a lot. So I want to hear about it.
So really, when I first made my amateur debut for Breakthrough MMA, during that time frame, you know, I was just thinking as a little 19-year-old kid that I'm going to the UFC. This is all I'm doing. I'm going to live the broke fighter's dream. You know, just had my son. So I had a lot of intrinsic pressure, not only from myself, but also from external parties. And I let that really get to me, and I broke down. So after taking the 7-year hiatus and, you know, switching lanes in life, pursuing my career in cybersecurity, you know, becoming successful in that, you know, I had everything that I feel like I wanted, but I still felt like there was this hole and I knew that I would regret getting older, you know, still watching these UFC fights, just being a fan, that, man, I didn't want to be that guy to say, you know, I could have. You know, so I got my ass off the couch. You know, I found myself a home, and I started putting in the work, and I really held myself accountable because at first, when I first started fighting, you know, I really wasn't putting in the work like how I should have, because I knew I had talent, but I didn't really work that hard. But hard work beats talent, and that's the secret.
I got a couple of questions from our YouTube watchers. First one is for Nick McCarty. Nick, how are you going to finish Wesley?
I feel like this, man, but anyway, I won, honestly. You know, these last 3 fights, I've been like a Minuteman, so hopefully I could be like another Minuteman. But if not, I mean, I'm down for 3 and then finish.
All right. The next question is for Mikey Conlon. What is the Godly Taste Buds prediction on the fight?
I'm gonna eat. I think that I have a delicious meal in front of me. I don't even know how to answer that. I'm excited. I'm excited to eat after weigh-ins. I'll grab a brew, some food with him after. I was on tour earlier this year, but I put the foodie stuff down for a little bit because life needed to be sorted out, and fighting is a lot more important than that. than my other hobbies. But it's cool, man. Like I'll tell you what, this year has been a breakthrough year for me in terms of aligning and monetizing all my passions and putting all my systems in place and letting fighting kind of be my audience to sell myself. And winning fights, like that's just how life is, man. Like if I was losing fights, no one would give a fuck what I'm doing. But I just hope I help people along the way. And yo, there's a lot of good food in Orlando. We're like ranked top 5 in America. So y'all gotta holler at me. And I'm charging for food recommendations now because the only person is Phil Rowe, and Mitch. Like when I give them recommendations, they pop out and they post and they send me the place that they're eating. But there's too many people that have asked where to eat and haven't gone, and that low key kind of pisses me off, man. So 20 a recommendation.
Damn, that's kind of pricey.
I have more to say actually. Let me just state this is a Fusion Excel lineup. We have a 5-fight win streak, 3, 3, and 6. Not a coincidence. And man, I have something else to say, man. I'll put it back.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as you see up here, we got tons of talent here lined up from the state of Florida. Don't forget, make sure you get your tickets or purchase the live stream. It's going down this Saturday, October 21st, live in Orlando at the Caribbean Royale. We're going to do a couple face-offs first before we get out here, all right?
I remember what I had to say.
Go ahead, say it while we move these tables, Mikey.
I mean, Angel don't need a cosign, but I've been saying it, that he's the best lightweight in Florida, and soon to be the country, soon to be the world. So trust it. And y'all gonna feel me on Saturday. I swear. And if you're local to Orlando and want to book a private bartender, or if you know someone that does, I'm referring $150 if you can get me a successful booking. It's easy money. Shout out Phil Rowe on the fashion.
We'll announce Sham Delva to the stage, Angel McCarty to the stage.
We have the belt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this Saturday, October 21st, okay, at the Caribbean Royale Orlando, the main event is for that Combat Night 155 Lightweight Championship belt. First, coming to the face-off, Sham Delva out of ATT Palm Beach Gardens. And his opponent from right here out of Orlando, Florida, Angel Mercado. Oh, there, ladies and gentlemen, look at their eyes. This right here, you could feel the tension in the room. If nothing else, this right here is worth the price of admission. Both of these gentlemen, when you look up Orlando lightweights, both of these gentlemen pop up. Good luck to both of you, gentlemen. Once again, this Saturday, October 21st, Combat Night Orlando at Caribbean Royale. Get your tickets. Get the pay-per-view. And then next up, let's get Mikey Conlon versus Juan.
Bam, 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 bam.
Mikey Conlon and Juan Roberto Lopez. This is another lightweight matchup at the 155-pound Combat Night division. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. This Saturday, October 21st, Caribbean Royale Combat Night. See you there.